to the June 7th, 2025 meeting of the Chicago TI 994A Users Group, held in person at the Evanston Public Library on the first floor in the small meeting room off the service desk. It's brought to you by Hal Shanafield, our fair chairman, Fixter, president, James Mazurek, the meeting audio video tech, John Shanafield, the fair audio video tech, and John Banky, our newsletter editor and webmaster at CTIUG.org.
Which isn't working very well, so I was gonna ask you about that.
Oh, okay.
Chicago always works, she's got two addresses,
Mm-hmm.
but that short one sometimes doesn't work.
Okay.
I don't know why. So, talk about the fair, the summer break.
Go ahead, because I'm rusty on all that.
Okay, this is John Banky. The fair's coming along real nicely. It's actually, I think, 140 days from now, give or take. There's a countdown on the board, on the webpage. We starting to make some new gifts and materials. We got some new games planned. Friday's gonna be the welcoming dinner. Saturday will be the fair from, what is it, 8 o'clock for the swap meet starts, and then 9 o'clock the fair starts, and it goes, I believe, till 4 o'clock. And then afterwards, we will have the after dinner, and then Vic says I have to say famous pub crawl. You can't just say pub crawl, he gets upset. Famous pub crawl, where we visit as many bars as our tired old legs could visit, and we don't necessarily get blitzed. So if you're a if you're a teetotaler, we welcome you also. So
Right, you can just go along for
go
social.
along for the long exaggerated stories and tall tales,
Inappropriate conversation.
inappropriate innuendo.
And I'd encourage you to.
Which is an innuendo.
This is the last meeting before the summer break. We traditionally have always taken a summer break, a hiatus. The summer newsletter is coming along. It should be out in the next couple of weeks. It's up to 68 pages this year. I've just got one or two more submissions to add, and it should be ready. It'll be available up on the webpage. If you want a hard copy, you have to come to the meeting, or you have to come to the fair, because there'll be hard copies available at the fair. A lot of good stuff this year, new and old, and the next meeting will be in September, I believe the first weekend in September. I don't know what day that is. Whatever the first Saturday is usually, but that'll be posted on the webpage. So look to the webpage, get the exact date.
The 6th.
The 6th. It'll probably be on the 6th, but verify it on the webpage.
Yeah, always good, especially if you are budgeting time or traveling to the actual physical meeting, to always check first.
Of course. If you may or may not notice, we're in a bigger room this time. We're actually, this is a paid-for room, so we had to dip into the treasury a little bit. We've outgrown our rooms, the free rooms, the closets that we're usually in, which is a good thing. We got more people coming to the meetings, more people watching them online.
Did you announce who's here? Did we do that roll around?
We could do a roll around. Okay, we got our president, Vic Stirrup, Jim Mazurek, of course, Kyle, Irwin,
John Mark Motley?
John Marbley, myself, John, my brother David. Hal is at a doctor's appointment. He may or may not make it. So we're doing our best to fill in without Hal. Phrasing?
You said he may or may not make it.
Oh, sorry.
He may or may not be here at the.
May or may not be here. Okay, there we go. So, thank you for, what is it, Weird Al Yankovic's word crimes? Is that what it's called? That's a good video. So anyhow, the first thing on the agenda, we got the icebreaker, which is me.
Jim, there's a couple pre-poured.
There's some pre-poured ones there.
Liz.
Who's gonna play TI bingo?
I can certainly play TI bingo.
TI bingo, TI bingo. Kyle, you playing TI bingo?
I can move the tripod.
Jim playing TI bingo?
Yes. I have one.
Your bingo card, how many we got there?
How's that?
One more person. David or Vic, who wants to play TI bingo?
Dave, go ahead.
Dave, go ahead, okay, here we go. Now, we're gonna pass out the markers, we got everything here. John, what color do you want?
Doesn't matter.
I said John, not Jim.
Whatever.
It might matter to somebody.
Green.
There you
Let's
go.
come out a little.
I think that is it. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Get one for Jim since he doesn't care.
That was one wide angle lens on that thing.
Still pretty cool.
We got one more if you wanna play, Vic. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You wanna play, Vic? We have one more. You don't have to play, but we have one
No.
more.
You're passing?
He's passing, okay. The way this works is it's bingo. But we're gonna use, instead of little balls, we're gonna use these mixed up cartridge things here. And I have a collar. I guess I'll use the marker here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, we got prizes too, so let's see, for those people at home.
Yeah, I should have printed out that last email that had all the schedule of
Are we ready to go?
when the fair is.
I think
Okay,
we
our
are.
first
Doing
one,
this meeting.
Moon Patrol. Moon Patrol. Anybody got Moon Patrol?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have Moon Patrol. How about that?
Oh, so we just mark it?
Yeah, I just marked it. It's bingo.
Yeah, it's right out a little bit.
Number 2 is Munchman. Munchman.
Oh, yeah.
My marker doesn't work.
Press harder.
Try this one?
No.
Try the purple one.
Oh,
And
I'm
we
good. Be careful.
Car Wars. Car Wars. Number 3 is Car Wars.
Oh, but Hal's not here.
What was 2? Munchman?
Munchman. Munchman and Car Wars. Okay, I'll put them out here. Number 4 is Tunnels of Doom. Tunnels of Doom. Number 5 is Parsec. Parsec.
I'm falling behind
I'm sorry, Jim.
because I can't read some of this.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I could do it. I could have done it.
I understand. It's okay.
Let me know when you're caught up, Jim.
Okay, I think I'm missing one.
We got Car Wars, Parsec, Bunchman, Moon Patrol, and Tunnels of Doom.
Let's see. Tunnels of Doom was the last one you said?
Yes.
Okay,
No, Parsec was the last one.
Parsec, okay.
And I'm putting them up here if you guys wanna look. The last 3 are up there.
Look at your card
I'm really good at this.
compared to mine.
I practice.
Okay, number 6 is gonna be Burger Time. Burger Time.
Kyle always wins the games.
Jeez.
Him and Hal.
Al's not here. We don't have a chance. Burger Time. If anybody needs more time, raise their hand. Okay, the next one's gonna be Adventure. 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 Anybody close?
Getting there.
Getting there?
Not even this guy's.
Okay.
gonna kill us.
Amazing. Amazing.
I never played this game, Free Space.
It's a new game.
Is that the one Tercy has?
Tombstone City, 21st century. Tombstone City, 21st century. Tombstone City.
I just says Tombstone City.
That's good enough. I'm sure that that's the right one. Tombstone City. Hunt the Wampus. Hunt the Wampus.
You hunt the wampus.
Hunt the wampus.
Did you say burger time was one?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's it going? Does yeah mean bingo or?
No,
No, just yeah, I like that, okay.
I gotta have the
Probably see.
It'd probably be better to put it in
Yeah,
front of this
try that.
camera. So you can see TI bingo.
Is everybody caught up?
What was the last one?
Hunt the wampus.
Oh, yeah. No, go ahead.
Alpiner. Alpiner. Somebody's close.
We're playing Four Corners.
No, just right.
Coverall.
Coverall here all day. Moon sweeper. Moon sweeper.
As opposed to Moonraker.
Yeah. John.
Oh, no, it's Moon River.
Return to Pirate's Isle. Probably really small text. Return to Pirate's Isle. The longer the word, the smaller the text.
Oh, you were all doing good.
No, this one's actually not bad. I can read that one.
Okay.
I think there's one that is unreadable to me.
Congo Bongo.
One more.
One more.
The turntables. That's like cool. You're super good. And
The Attack. The Attack. The Attack. No bingos yet? Zero Zap. The famous
Bingo!
Bingo. Anybody else? Just one bingo?
Okay, so I have Tunnels of Doom,
Mm-hmm.
Moon Patrol,
Mm-hmm.
Zero Zap,
Mm-hmm.
Parsec,
Mm-hmm.
and Return to Pilot Island.
That is a good
Pirate
bingo.
Island, excuse me. And that's across the top.
That is a good bingo.
Well done, Jim, well done.
The second play?
Oh, we got a couple plays. So Jim, what does
Gets-
Jim win?
He wins a valuable prize.
Oh, potty piano?
No,
Ready?
I'm musical in other ways when I'm
Ready?
on the potty.
Jim wins a chicken wing.
Wow, that's pretty,
Very oddly specific to what I don't
Carlos,
know.
could you collect the cards?
Eagles?
Yeah, just throw them away or turn them around if you use them.
Don't let anybody see that on the L on the way home.
They might try and eat it.
Yeah. You'll
Just
have a
pass
ball
those in or
trying.
just put them in a pile.
Or I can, when I do the users of free operating systems on Sunday night, I can leave it on the corner of the table at the Dunkin', or at the Wendy's and see who goes for it.
We'll film it too.
You shuffled the deck?
As much as I could. Not that it matters that much. Are we ready? Round two.
Nope.
Second round, do I need another card or am I out because I
I
already
definitely
won?
give you one.
yeah, you got one, sorry.
Okay.
Start the game, we have the famous driving demon. Funware driving demon. For use with the Texas Instruments TNA 4A home computer. Driving demon, it's actually a fun game.
Yeah, I
Driving demon,
like that game.
third party. Driving demon.
Funware. Well, they also put out.
Yeah, if you told me we were
CNN.
doing, if I realized we were doing bingo, I would have brought some of my mother's bingo accoutrement for
A
the,
little, good luck charms.
yeah. Good luck charms, the actual proper bingo dabbers,
Number two,
If they're not
mobile
all
operating
turned
surgical hospital, MASH.
moosh.
MASH.
Suicide is painless.
Suicide is painless. You know, they only sang the song one time. That was it.
Yeah,
It
the
was in
film, the
movie,
film
the
one,
movie.
the film they sang the song, they had the full vocals, I think on the
When the
television
doctor
show,
got
I
on
don't
the
know
film
if they
itself.
ever did.
I don't think they did it. Okay, MASH. Number three is Blasto. Blasto.
I hate that game.
Then don't mark it off.
Yeah, just say, just reject it, like it doesn't exist. Okay, Blasto, everybody good, Blasto. We got Super Demon Attack.
Is there ever a regular demon attack?
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
there,
that's the one where,
is there mediocre demon
Yeah,
attack?
mediocre deal, yeah.
Yeah,
Crappy
Spe-
demon
Special ed
Yeah,
demon
that's
attack.
what
the disc version has
Shark bus demon attack.
speech and the
Now
cartridge
someone will make
version
it.
doesn't.
Oh,
Or something like that. I got both of them on my,
Super demon
front
attack.
ground
okay.
as an example to
Number 4
demonstrate.
is Minor 2049er.
Oh, God, I spent ages on that one.
Minor 2049er.
I felt they were a little imprecise on their mapping of where the ramp started.
Okay, the next one is Frogger.
Oh, yeah.
Frogger. Parker Brothers.
Yeah, here's about 8 versions of that.
Oh, it's easy,
Everybody
right?
wrote a version.
Oh, I know.
Frogger.
Through the TI library, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, another Frogger.
Okay, the next one is Zork 1.
Yeah.
Zork. Zork 1.
I wanna get the.
I don't know,
the
is that a one or a
Tiger
two?
Club- Tiger Club
You
collection,
know,
I
I
don't
think
have
it's
it
the only
yet.
Zork, so.
Western Horizon
Your
Tiger.
one is
Parker
rather
Brothers again, we got
stylized.
Qbert.
Yeah.
Qbert.
You worked.
Qbert.
Plus, it's on the discs I gave away, the thumb drives, the Tiger Cup
Yeah,
collection.
of course, I wasn't there then. But I think on that website you have to dial it one by one.
Okay. Chisholm Trail. Chisholm Trail.
It's a decent game.
Anybody close? Yeah. Yeah.
Two,
Oh, yeah, you're close, one more to go. Music Maker, the famous Music Maker, Music Maker. Who has that cartridge? Anybody have Music Maker?
I do have a copy of it, physical copy. Not the whole package, just the
Just the
cartridge.
cartridge.
Because it's just how it goes sometimes.
Why do you take what you can get?
I have it on Final Ground.
Okay, Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man. And what's the difference between Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man?
Other than the bow,
Just the bow. They put a bow on her.
You can't call her Miss anymore, you gotta call her by her first name.
Well, we ask her what her pronouns are.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Ms. Pac-Man, not Miss?
Dig Dug.
this Pac-Man is,
Another Atari stuff. Dig Dug. Spent a lot of quarters in the arcade playing
Oh, the
that.
Atari stuff is great. It's just like playing the arcade. I
Yep.
can't believe what a good job they did on it.
Yeah, I agree.
Dig Dug. Defender. Looks like we got all the Ataris coming up. Defender. Defender.
2 free spaces.
Sometimes you get lucky.
First time I saw that with those 10 push buttons on the arcade game, I went like, wait a minute. I don't have enough fingers for,
Moon Patrol. Another Atari stuff. Must have more in a row. Moon Patrol. Moon Patrol.
yeah, that's nice with the scrolling backgrounds to give you that,
Moon Patrol's good.
perception
Yeah.
of depth.
That's why when you
Yeah.
shoot forward and shoot up at the same time.
It's a great game.
Tunnels of Doom again. Tunnels of Doom. Tunnels of Doom. Adventure again. Adventure. Apparently I didn't shuffle them real good. Amazing. Doesn't matter because the bingo cards are all different, you know. Amazing.
Oh. Nice. I see maze,
Did they say
maze.
Persa?
Alpiner. No Parson.
No, that was last.
Alpiner.
You said amazing, right?
Yeah,
See, I almost missed it.
you're talking, you're not listening. Moonsweeper. Moonsweeper. So you're really close.
Wow.
I am too.
Yeah, Dave is too. The Attack.
I feel like I'm missing
The Attack.
everything behind me. Did you say Munchman?
No. Centipede. Something different.
Oh,
Centipede.
bingo.
We got a bingo?
I think so.
Any other bingos? Centipede?
No, but look at how much I had filled. Yeah, everything but.
Okay, read them off.
read off your bingo.
Hubert, Miss Pac-Man, Centipede, Amazing, and Free Space.
It's a good bingo. Okay. they collect all these, and, we'll play one more quick round, and, that should be it. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go.
Oh, you got the flat?
That's not a wing.
Well, it's the other half of the way, part of the way.
They usually cut tips off, but
Yeah.
there is stuff on it you can eat. But it's really good for soup and.
Last game? Dick, you wanna play the last game?
No, this is
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
Remind everybody where this is from.
Dave?
Hey, every space has free space.
Oh, there you go. Does anybody want a second card? I got extra cards.
I'll take a second.
Second card, anybody wanna do a second? Nobody?
I got a good feeling.
Sure, I'll do double barrel.
Yeah,
I'll do
double
all,
barrel?
all that's remaining. if you
Yeah,
want.
I love those little ladies at the
Yeah,
church,
well,
got eight
that's-
cards in
They
front of them.
Scotch tape like
So that
50
is
of
my
them.
mother and all my
Anybody want a second? Want a
aunties
second?
were
No?
like that,
You're
that they
good
were
with
bingo
one?
fanatics and they would
Okay.
play almost a table
Anyone
full
wanna
of
take a
cards
whole table?
between them.
Okay, let's, mix these up.
Well, the concept is, EINGO,
Usually take
0
one
to
shuffle
10,
these.
11 through 20, by the number, what column it's gonna be.
Yeah,
You put them in a bag and you shake it up.
Well, you know what, I could just pull randomly, I don't have to definitely pull from the top. So then I'll do it that way. Moon sweeper. Moon sweeper.
Not dealing from the top of the deck, are you?
Bottom of it, all the time. Moon sweeper. Miss Pac-Man. Moon sweeper and Miss Pac-Man. Moon sweeper and Miss Pac-Man. It's a little bit harder because when you're playing regular bingo, you know by the numbers which column they have to be on,
Mm-hmm.
but this one you don't. Hunt the Wumpus. Hunt the Wumpus.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm studying it. Tunnels of Doom. Tunnels of Doom. Tunnels of Doom. TI Extended Basic. TI Extended Basic.
is it,
It's
it's
just
TI
extended
extended basic
Yeah,
or
that's,
just
uh,
extended basic?
Extended Basic.
Okay, because on the card, it's just extended basic.
Extended Basic, Extended Basic. Yeah, I wouldn't have Extended Basic in TI Extended
You don't
Basic.
have Play-Doh in there?
I
Editor
thought
or
there was,
somewhere?
I thought there was one on one of the cards that I had.
I didn't
It might
see
be
it.
imagining it.
Okay, Hal's favorite game of all time, Car Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Car Wars.
I think it's Zero Zap. It's the-
Well, he doesn't like Car Wars, I'm being
Yeah.
sarcastic.
Ah, okay.
I had Car Wars for about 2 months. I played it off the
Sarcasm.
keyboard. And then when I got the joysticks, I found, you press the fire button, you get to
Well, that's the
speed up
same
your
thing
car.
Hal couldn't figure out.
Yeah,
He just kept going regular speed and crashing.
yeah. For me, it was,
Isn't that the object of the game?
Alpiner. I had that for years before I found out you could go off the one side of the mountain and circle around to the other.
Alpine was kind
Oh,
of a.
yeah.
Okay, Burger Time. Burger Time.
That's after the meeting.
Burger. Pac-Man. Pac-Man, not Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man. Pac-Dude.
Your eyes start adjusting to the flat, so and it's getting easier each game. Have you noticed?
Did you say this Pac-Man on this
No,
one?
just Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man was called,
Not this time.
but
Yes, you
earlier.
Well, yeah, during the day, but not during this round.
Yeah.
She did.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
that was the second one. Forgive me, don't listen to me, I'm just, Alpiner. Alpiner. Moon Patrol. Moon Patrol. Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong. There's always a good game. Donkey Kong.
Now, was it supposed to be Monkey Kong, but they didn't want to get into
Yeah, I read that too.
copyright infringement?
Football. Football.
Which kind?
American football. Dig it, Doug. Dig Doug.
Mm-hmm. I love using that air pump on the monsters.
That's the best part.
Watch their eyes cross.
One more, still.
The attack. The attack.
Oh, Yahtzee.
Bingo. Anybody else?
Not here.
We got the attack, football, free space, pump the lumpus, dig dug.
Okay, do you want French fries or chicken wing?
I'll go chicken.
Chicken wing. Okay, take the French. Thank you for playing, everybody. I hope that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
So near and yet so far.
Fear to
Yes,
the,
every time.
the uncanny valley. When things get too close to real, that they're kind of eerie.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. You wanna take a bite out of it? Let's do it with barbecue sauce. Those, and then
Marker stack.
Yeah, I like having this camera set up. It gives people at home a feeling like they're here.
Who is ready to do the first demo?
Vic,
Are you ready, Vic?
Yeah, I can do a demo on anything. I just didn't have anything in particular.
Okay, somebody have something planned and ready to go?
I think I showed Old Dark Caves a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And we ran through Legends a couple months ago.
Why don't you do one of the ones we just put up on the board? If you're able. Do you have either Caisson, B1 Nuclear Bomber, or Legends? Because I put these up on the board.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just, would have been easier to find them.
Dave, are you ready for something?
no, I'm just messing around.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, I know we had three people that were gonna demo.
Oh, wait, are you asking me to start mine?
Yeah, so Vic can
Oh,
take
yeah,
his time and.
Give me a
and pull
particular
something up.
cartridge, or are you gonna do it from your setup?
No, I'll just do it for mine, I guess. I got, you know what, cause I brought the file RAM, I could have just asked you to demo it,
Yeah,
but I got my controller now.
okay.
Alright, so,
Do we need to reposition the camera?
oh, yeah. Unless you have, I had 3 games, little ones I wanted to do, I had Kitchen Capers. I don't know if you have that one.
I'll just move the
I
camera.
think so.
Okay, you get them.
Sounds unfamiliar.
You have to do this one. We got chicken wing sauce.
That would've been good.
Color caterpillar.
We do got the camel spit, I gotta get more of that.
You know what Jewel is selling now?
What?
Camel milk.
Really?
No, this one's fine. This is,
Oh, okay.
this will be fine.
Alright, so let me find out where the heck these games are. Okay. We'll do Aperture first, which Vic did already once.
Yeah.
This one up with this. How's that? Oh, everyone can see. Alright, so. There's QJ. Alright, so we're ready?
Yeah. anytime you want. Okay, we're back.
All right,
Okay, we're back.
all right. Make sure we're on, Kyle, if you don't mind.
Yeah, double check.
We are.
Okay, so aperture, I guess?
Too much Irwin by the door eating all the Wi-Fi signal.
So, this game,
Italian desserts.
this game I was actually introduced to at one of the TI meetings that Vic and Jim were at some Holiday Inn, I think. But anyway, I saw Vic playing this, and I thought, oh, that looks fun, so I thought I would give it a go. So the purpose, and I cannot get past level 5, by the way. But the purpose of this game, it's kind of fun, is you throw portals. So the object of the game is to get to the exit here, right? So,
Keep in mind, people on camera can't see the point at the screen.
oh yeah, the exit here.
Upper right-hand corner.
So obviously you go like this, you're like, oh crap, how am I gonna get up there? So you could do portals. So what I'm gonna do is throw a portal first over to that little corner, and I'm gonna go down here, make one there, and that'll get me over there.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I heard of a game called Portal.
Oh, it's aperture, I mean. All right, so then it's kind of strategic. You have to start thinking about it like, okay, well, how am I gonna get across there? So I'm gonna put a portal here, put another one over there, go down here.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah. No, it's kind of tricky here because you have to free fall. See? And then you can put another portal there, see? And then, what am I doing? I don't wanna do that, oh crap.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you would have had to throw a portal on your way. Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, look at that.
So how long do portals last?
Forever. Does anybody wanna try it?
Yeah.
They disappeared, are you picking them up or something?
There's a
you want me to do
depressing
one at a time?
YouTube video called Portal.
Don't go in the green or you die. Okay.
That wasn't good?
No, I try to throw it here. Oh, you missed. I don't know, that might work. Try it. No,
Oops.
you're screwed.
Oh, boy.
You gotta throw it in that little
Right,
tiny
yeah, that little thing.
crevice.
So can you throw one below you?
Yeah.
Then you can fall into the portal.
Yeah, you could get into endless portal things.
Do you know when
You
this
have
game
to
was
throw
made?
one at the top.
Do you know when this was
Oh,
made?
look at this, it's going back and forth.
I don't know.
So there's like, it's strange that there's a lot of new portal-based games, you know, like they're ahead of their time.
Like X-Men.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh, this is crazy.
oh, you almost had it.
So there's only one way to do this.
There you go.
There you go.
I win. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Now, keep in mind, you can't throw portals at these little squares.
Well, what am I supposed to do now?
You have to think about it. Jump up and throw one here. No. Remember, you could,
I like this, this is good, this. Yeah, enough of this level, you play.
alright, well, I'll see if I can finish this. Oh.
There you go.
once, stop, you can hold the button and stop.
Oh, I
yourself.
didn't know you could do that.
Oh.
That kinda makes it easier. Oh, you're holding out?
Yeah, but I can't get past, I can't get past level 5 because some of these, see this, you need to do that here too, go up one, stop, hold, and do that, just to even get across that one.
Oh, so you can't move in a jump?
No, oh yeah, you can jump, but like that. But anyway, there's this little thing, I don't.
Give me one try.
Good
Now I
luck.
know you can do that. So you go like this, jump up and hold it.
Well, now put one at the bottom. This one's kind of weird where you have to just touch it, I don't know, and like just jump up and touch and you eventually get through them.
Alright,
What's that thing?
There you go, see now you're.
now this is the impossible one, right?
Yeah, because I don't know, these little things, there's gotta be a way you move them somehow. And I don't know how to get to this. I tried for hours. Does anyone know what these little things do? How you move them? There's,
You push.
yeah, you push, but there's gotta be, it's impossible. I got all the way down to here. I never,
Cause it's sealed. Oh, I see.
I tried everything.
What's this down here?
That's another thing that I don't know what it does. I've touched it, it doesn't do anything. And every time you just throw those blocks, they just keep falling. So I can't get past it.
Can you push a portal through, a block through a portal?
Oh, I know. Hold
I
on.
thought I tried that and I didn't.
Oh, push a block through a portal, that's interesting.
I tried that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It didn't work unless I'm doing something wrong.
How did you pick that up before?
Okay, let's see, how do I get it? This is weird.
You can get across there by shooting a portal. Oh. But I always feel like it has to be something here in order to get here. Because what's the whole purpose of this whole thing? You know what I mean?
Let's see.
It's inevitable. You're gonna die.
Not if I hold this button. Okay, here, Dave, you play 5 since you're good at it.
Oh, we can go to the next game unless somebody else wants to.
On my version, it says, what level do I want to start at?
Right, mine
On the
did
first
too.
screen.
Yeah, I just picked one, but
So you
Alright.
said it was level 5?
yeah, do you wanna
Holy
try it?
smokes.
I like the bigger screen.
Do you know how to play this one? Think you can get past that?
No, I have trouble getting past 1 or
Does
2.
anybody online have any suggestions? Do we have anybody online?
I don't know. Is there anybody online, Kyle?
No, no comments yet.
That's alright. Well, if anybody knows how to get past 5, let us know. Next up is going to be Kitchen Caper, which this game, a little history of it is Butch and Kiro Goldstein, their son Danny Goldstein. Him and I were friends and we would go to the meetings, TI meetings and all that together. But he programmed this game.
Yeah, I helped him. I was
And-
teaching him how to program.
Yeah, John has a little
He
more
paid
on
me
that.
$20 an hour to teach him to program. That was a lot of money.
In the 80s, yeah.
I don't know if it was 20, it might have been 10, I can't remember what it was.
What year was it?
84, 85, 84, something like that. Give or take a year.
That box. Could you grab the extended base?
Oh, hell, back then I was working at Sears for $3, $3.50 an hour, so yeah, that would be a lot. Yeah, I don't think it was 20, it was probably 10.
Sorry, I forgot this was on the final there. Or the Tiffy. Let's hope it works.
It's being broadcast, like,
Yeah, this is totally confusing for me. I never got this high.
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
What was that game called? Aperture?
Aperture.
Yeah.
what are we broadcasting right now? Are we broadcasting blank?
No, we're broadcasting.
Well, I don't see anything on the camera.
Because you can't see it because you're at a severe angle.
Oh, okay, there it is, now there's something on there. There we go. This was a typing program in the newsletter a couple months back.
Oh,
I know that
What if you say no? I'm not ready to start. This isn't a bad game, actually.
No, it's kind of
What
fun.
if your
I'll go-
keyboard doesn't have a name key?
So you gotta get a pen, not magic marker. Sharpie.
So apparently your phone's ringing and then spiders are coming down.
That's what
So-
my family always does when spiders come down.
What are you collecting, the trash from the kitchen? or
Yeah, you
something?
collect the trash from the kitchen here.
You gotta get it over.
So those are not the kitchen, style of kitchen capers I was involved in when I was a child. Sneaking cookies away when your mother wasn't looking, or other sort of fried pastry items.
You didn't have a spider infestation in the kitchen?
No, not usually. I only have a spider infestation on the couch. A
Okay.
Lucas the spider infestation.
Lucas.
So this game's kind of,
Uh-oh. You're horrible, man.
I think this game is pretty, let's say they put you right in the middle and you're, you
Well,
know,
it's an ingenious game, because if you think about it, the simplicity of, all you're doing is doing a sprite check to see if there's
Collision.
a collision, and because the sprites going up and down will never touch, and any collision means that you touch the spider, so you don't have to do a lot of calculations.
yeah.
It looks like they're also careful to not
Be in the
remain
same-
on a single line.
Yeah, so they get that flickering.
But a young person,
Yeah, with a little help. He was, probably like, he was always a smart kid, you know.
Yeah.
I don't wanna say genius, because he might be watching, and he'll get a big fat head. No, he was a real smart kid, and, he was probably like 12, 13 at the time, I think. I don't know, how old were you at the time, Dave? Because he was what, your age, wasn't he?
I think he was a year younger than me, so I think he was probably like 10, 11
10?
when he wrote this.
Looks like they're getting packed closer
Does
together.
anybody want to give it a try? You just use the arrow keys.
Huh.
Anybody?
I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
Kyle. Here's for Kyle, who won a chicken wing.
Let's see what you got.
You said arrow keys?
Yeah, arrow keys. And be fast on your fingers.
Where am I?
Don't hesitate.
You're in front of the garbage can, the rainbow one.
Oh, I see. Whoa, oh, you just keep going?
Yeah, you can't stop, but you can go back and forth.
Oh, that's difficult.
It is, but you get used
Well, you gotta time the spiders. Now, if you, yeah, well, unfortunately, you can go off you can wait for the spiders off the side. You know, until they open up.
Yeah.
How are those pastries going?
They're good.
They're evaporating.
They're evaporating?
You think a spider under your foot would get squashed?
Or maybe they're atomic spiders.
Yeah.
What flavor?
I think it's cherry with white chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah, yesterday in the far western town of Aledo, they had their rhubarb festival.
You know that real well.
And they're the
No.
self-appointed rhubarb capital of the country.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And,
Term for those.
oh yeah, it was like rhubarb days, so it's like,
Oh, I still got mine.
they had rhubarb ice cream, they had rhubarb pie, they had rhubarb pastries, they had,
Is there
chunks of rhubarb, in like a fruit cup.
Oh, cool.
They had live band. They got a park with their band shell downtown,
Oh, I
center
remember
of town.
the show, yeah.
So you can go around this one square block, and in the center of it's the band shell pointed diagonally.
How far is that?
Export.
Aledo? 150 miles from here, put another 30 on it. Cause it's about 150 from where I live in St. Charles.
Got it.
Yeah.
Ran right into it.
Yeah, Aledo, Aledo.
Oh, come
Is the name of
on.
the town.
Oh.
We were actually thinking of moving there to be closer to our daughter,
Oh,
our
yeah.
husband, our grandkids.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
There you go.
140 miles to get there from our house. In my
Yeah, as they spread out a little bit, it makes it a
Oh,
little
you
easier.
can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can override the default terminal for the
Oh,
long.
You got the hang of
So
it
now
now.
if you like try to run something.
Does this remind me of the,
Ooh,
Mr.
that's
Chin, where
close.
you got
Oh.
balance the saucers?
Oh, yeah, that's
Poles.
a good game.
Yeah, that was ported over from, what, Commodore or?
Yeah, be careful, you only have one guy left and one garbage.
See,
You wanna
both,
see the ending.
both games you showed me taught me the opposite of what I learned from comics.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
1, 2, play again.
Does that mean I won?
Yeah, there you go. What else we got?
We'll probably have to either
Let's
write
see
it
if I had anything else. I don't
or the specific
think so, but let me
You,
check.
you gonna be ready for something soon, or?
Yeah.
Where's
I didn't have anything, particular, I think we went down with the
Was that
positive.
fun? Did you like that?
I don't
That's
know.
fun.
That's
I'm
nice
just-
piano. I
I'm
don't know if
concerned
you
that I'm
feel
not a
it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or a Spider-Man right now.
Alright, so
I have a
last,
feeling the guy who bought it from on Facebook Marketplace got it as a gag gift for his
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure, just like my chicken wings.
And that's for
Alright, so last one,
Too much smoke with the coffee?
You got the blow on it?
Nice.
Too much smoke before you had your coffee? When you walked over here,
last one's a game I found,
since we're having an action day.
which I think is pretty cool. It's called Lift.
In my house. It's the only outside I've been.
Jeez.
Smooth that mind.
Alright, so this one I just discovered. I don't know if you've ever demoed this.
Oh, in your photo collection, yeah. But go ahead.
It's always on.
Alright, are we have any of this stuff to demo, or is this gonna be pushed back? Okay, so Dave's done, is he ready to, you guys ready? You ready? I'm ready. When Dave's done, you take it away.
Alright, this game's kind of fun after I keep dying.
I've seen something like this.
Yeah, you just take the left to clear the flags. I don't know if a British person created this or.
Directly walking what to do. You want to sit closer, you might want to sit a little closer to the camera. Or scoot wide.
What makes you think they're British?
You think that
They call it the lift.
Oh.
is it an elevator?
Yeah.
Remember an arcade game called Elevator Action?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to like that. I was never any good at it.
Since it's called the lift, they have to say which joke. It's the only one you can say. You call an elevator full of Polish people.
Oh, I think, oh, here we go.
That's ski lift.
The ski lift. Okay.
Anyway, does anybody want to give it a go?
What about the,
Kyle. he's your first
Spies
expert.
Minds
think Kyle
is all
does.
elevators
Embarrassed
in a
myself last
building.
game.
Where you got some different elevators.
I'll try to
you
find
got-
that one.
Somebody's after you or something. You're the spy and you're trying to, elude capture.
See, now you're screwed.
Did you eat the tip off your wing?
Yeah, those aren't edible, guys, by the way.
He's got the tip still.
Yeah, he's got the full wing, he's got the docked wing, and I've got the chicken leg.
Okay, who traveled here from the farthest distance?
Not me, right?
Probably Bell. Vic,
Oh, what about this? Yeah.
What was John Mark doing?
Well, I live in Palatine, but I actually traveled from the southwest side and I was to that, where my chiropractor's office is.
is that,
That's all count.
is that further than the,
St. Charles?
But you started earlier before then.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Get
got,
away from me.
only the leg of the trip to the meeting.
To the meeting.
It's faster.
Yeah.
Every time the flag, more flags.
If you went to the bar before, wasn't like,
Okay, Vic, you win the last prize, French fries with ketchup on it.
Okay. Yeah, just had those on the way here. I stopped at Wendy's.
sure, yeah, we can do that. You could tell them that in the station.
I like mustard in my fries.
Do you?
Seriously.
I've heard of mayo, but not mustard.
I've got a few things.
And if you're in Canada,
Gravy.
gravy.
I'm big
Yeah.
fan of gravy fries.
There's a thing on YouTube where they got a bunch of school kids from Britain testing American food, and they had them testing biscuits and gravy. And they, first of all, they went crazy because they brought the biscuits out first and said, those aren't biscuits, those are scones. biscuits are cookies.
Cookies.
Yeah,
They're cooked, they're biscuits to us, right?
yeah.
So then they poured the.
I love it's more elevators.
Oh, no.
So they poured the biscuits and gravy sauce on top.
Was
So
it
it looks
real
like-
sausage gravy? or just
Yeah,
white
real
gravy?
white with sauce, big sausage
Southern
chunks
style
in it.
gravy, yeah.
And they're just looking at it and says, you know what, that looks like vomit. They didn't wanna eat it. But as soon as they ate it, they said, this is incredible. I always love good biscuits and
Yeah,
gravy.
southern style biscuits and gravy are nothing to turn your nose up.
No, they're good. See, what-
I had the Jimmy Dean's frozen biscuit.
they're okay. I've had those
Biscuit and
too.
gravy, they're pretty good.
You gotta put a little pepper on them though.
See,
But the biscuit's always so saggy, but it's still good.
Well, biscuits supposed to be soggy.
Well, I want
Yeah,
mine.
I've tried the Kroger one. The thing to do is if you don't want it soggy, is to let it defrost. And you eat the biscuits separately.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could do that.
Yeah,
I'm
there
always
was,
just so hungry and I'm like, I don't care.
back in the
It
eighties.
doesn't
if you
hurt.
want to try the rest of the Inuforo games that are on H, G, and then C.
Oh,
That's how you would step to
One more
them.
biscuits and gravy comment. Add some things.
And I can get you a
There was
copy
a
of that.
place next to the police station when I started working. It was called the Chit Chat.
What have I done
And it
with
was a
this?
trailer.
Yeah.
You know, when they had like.
When you're done
trailers
with
and
the
cars
lift,
lot, and then they turned
The
it
rest
into a
of the
restaurant.
Inuforo games
So there was a
Oh,
guy
are
there
are
with
in
like
there.
450
And you
pounds.
would step to them by
And
H,
all the truckers
G,
would go
and
there.
then C.
And you
Alright.
open up at 5 AM.
H, G, and C,
I
we'll
guess the
try it.
truckers would be early. You only get
Yeah,
You know,
it's,
like a-
somebody had
A grill.
bunch of
announced
stoves
those a
and big
couple
grill,
years
and you
ago.
had ham on the bone.
And I
Big ham on
downloaded
the
all the
bone.
different
They
web
attach it
pages
with
they
the
had
cleaver.
and the docs
And
and
so you
everything
make like,
else, but
if you want
I
like
got
ham
the
and
games
eggs,
in there on that.
you have big chunks of ham
So
like
if you
this
want a
big.
copy,
And so he had biscuits and
Yeah,
gravy. It was
or
the
I can
first
get
time
you a
I had
copy
it.
of
It was
that.
like Southern style. I'm like,
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, I'll have to
incredible.
get a copy for
You know,
me.
because biscuits and gravy done right,
Actually,
actually, a little bit of a
I
kick.
have
to
my
it.
laptop, I
You
can
know.
copy it.
Well,
yeah.
Also, if you're in the south, the other thing is
but
grits.
that's where Inuforo
See, my wife likes
is.
grits, I'm not
At
big
least
on
the
it.
name of that
Grits.
programmer.
Cheese covers
James
the taste
admired
of it, I'm not
that,
real good at it.
And
programming
often they have
technique.
the sausage
And
gravy.
he said it's like it's an
I love the
unfinished
sausage
game
gravy.
or
I love
something
the
like that, and
barbecue.
I thought like, well, this is pretty
See,
much,
you buy it down there and,
what the guy was trying to do.
Right,
You know, just make simple
Carolina
games that didn't take up much space.
yes,
But if you want to demo those,
Yeah,
on the way back, we were
are they
looking
bin
for a
files?
Hmm?
Are they bin files?
place. We were coming back.
BIN.
So I
Yeah.
looked it up on Yelp or something, and I found a place called Red State in Kentucky. And obviously. Red
might
State
take it a
prices
while
are
to download the whole,
But we went there and it was
card.
like 5 stars, and best part of the ever in my life. It was like a dive.
under,
And I went there and said, what would you like to try? I said, I'd like to try everything on the menu. It's because I was with the family, and we just had a big spread.
Laptop is
And, oh my
Alright.
God.
I stopped in Amarillo, Texas
Dated,
to get some
I believe.
barbecue. And I asked for french fries.
we
We don't have fried food here.
There's a,
C,
stopping in Texas for an armadillo.
Should I just open one?
I heard you,
Yeah, you
they,
can
the
open
dangerousness
one.
on the road or something, some of those.
Well, we just
They
keep
made
going.
lead from speedball.
Cause it would
Yeah.
say, there'd be two subfolders at
Hey,
the
you
top,
got
one
that.
would be Banky and one
Then
would be
possum,
Inuforo.
They start crossing the street, they don't
No, I
stop.
want.
Try the
possum.
next
That's
one
what
down.
I'm really talking
Oh.
about.
Awesome pie.
Possum stew?
Sorry,
Some pie.
I remember I tried to get to it,
There was a
I
guy
thought it
from
was stew.
there you go.
There's a guy from the south and he came to
No.
the watch party, and said, you know what? I don't know what it was called, but it was like a big tray.
There you go,
of
in your
what
photo.
it looked like. And
Yeah,
it
just
had
copy the whole
like
thing.
steak and possum.
It's everything, and then you can put that on
I
your
don't know
card.
where he got it from, but nobody touched it.
Well, I would try possum.
Yeah, I was
I've
quite
had
taken
some.
with the Inuforo,
It
because they
tastes
had,
like-
I've had elegant.
all these,
tastes like chicken.
I wonder,
games
if half those
with,
places that you think you're eating, it really is chicken.
simple, you know,
Yeah,
obvious,
it's like
nothing,
Cajun place,
you know,
you know,
nothing,
yeah.
I know a guy who was an Emerson
Yeah.
fire.
strange or cosmic.
And they used to do the fire inspections at restaurants and stuff like that, the safety stuff. And
I'll put
he
it
had
in
to
documents.
report a Chinese restaurant in Evanston because he saw skinned cats hanging in the kitchen.
Ooh.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever there's a, what do they call it? There's always a semblance of truth in every legend.
I accidentally put a couple copies in here.
Well, what I mean though is that there's a reason you know, that.
That's 'cause I hate this laptop, it's awful.
Yeah.
Restaurants, you know.
It's like,
You try and move something and it copies and pastes it.
Well, what I mean is that probably,
Kind of falling out of favor.
probably most of them don't, but the rumblings is that probably some of them do.
Alright, I think we're good.
Yeah. Everybody's just all going broadcast over there.
I don't know if we have time to do it today.
Mumbling, I'm sure.
In terms of dividing the printers.
Are you having fun?
Different countries.
Got a high score, I mean.
Well, just a little.
Alright, we're done.
Everything.
Okay, who's next?
Stat, just all.
I found another cool game, but I'll bring it next time.
Okay, who's that, Vic, we're gonna do the,
John's next?
we're gonna do John next, right?
Or Vic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Vic, doesn't matter.
Let me
The camera is
reposition-
dangerously
let me
close.
reposition-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dave, that camera, watch that camera, it's really.
Teetering on the edge.
Yeah.
Here, let me get out of the way. What cartridge did you get?
Jim, eighth of an inch more.
Jim knows
Yeah.
what
Okay,
cartridge.
Jimmy does.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive on this side.
Okay.
Do I just copy this to my computer?
Where do
No,
I
you take
stand?
the old one out, you put that in. So you're gonna have to recopy everything on
little
there.
one?
The little one.
Oh, okay.
And you just swap it, and then whatever was on there, you're gonna have to recopy back. Cause you'll have, and then you give me the old one, you know, so I can
Where
plug
should I
out and make a
stand?
fresh copy, so we have back.
Here?
So
Those
take
that
it
want
over.
quantity,
You wanna introduce yourself? Okay, guys, let's be quiet.
And plug that one in,
It's
and
not
it'll
bad.
work, but it'll be like it's brand new.
Brand new.
Well, the
Might have
microphone
my
is
soul,
technically
yeah.
over on the other side of the monitor, so you don't have to be loud, and people
Well,
will
give me the old
have
one.
to be
Give
quiet.
me the old one that you take out,
Oh.
and then I'll burn
You should say.
Gentlemen.
Sorry.
Gentlemen,
Okay, John.
we're ready. Turn the Peabody
Introduce
system off.
yourself and tell everybody what you're gonna be showing us.
My name is John Mark Mobley. Mobley rhymes with probably, so probably Mobley. Nobly Mobley, probably Mobley, spelled the same. I brought a telephone simulator, a modem with a serial port to my Linux computer, and we're gonna try to use the Linux computer as kind of a BBS. And from the TI 99.4A, we've got a modem attached to it, and we're gonna try to log into Linux into the guest account. The username is guest and the password is guest.
So everyone log in while you have the chance.
And we're gonna be able to log in and just try a few things. Kinda like old BBS days a little bit.
What is the bulletin board software?
It's just
He's just using a
Oh.
Linux system as a host system, and then we might telnet or SSH out into the real world, and maybe attach to a BBS or an online system that we can find.
Well, there's still a bunch out there.
Oh, yes,
Including ones that still have dial-up lines.
yes.
Now the screen width, the text is like 40 characters by, what, 25 characters?
25 if you turn the status line off, it's 24 if you have the status line, 23 if you turn the status line off.
So that's somewhat limiting, but we'll see what we can do.
Hey, it's more characters than a VIC-20.
That's me, so I copied in the new one.
Yeah, but it's-
Okay, so you want to give it a start? I'll take the hot seat. I'm Jim, Missouri.
And,
I'm gonna take the hot seat here, and
load stuff from your laptop to the TI.
Is it a pro?
I'm going to need.
Here,
to
I'll
call-
switch the
Yeah, I'm
image.
gonna need to cancel that.
There you
The
go.
display back.
This is.
Okay, so
That's just power supply.
first thing we're
That
gonna
goes
do
to the speech
is
system.
we're going to. No, I'm going in the wrong location. How do I back up one?
But
Period.
it basically takes the place of the expansion box.
Isn't it the period or the comma?
Or does escape back work? Comma?
So when
Okay, there we go.
you're seeing that.
Okay, so where am I looking for RxP?
Your computer and connect.
Go all the way back to the main menu
You
then.
can transfer stuff you download.
A,
Off the internet.
I'll take you,
basic
okay, now
settings,
spacebar,
and stuff, right into
RxP
this
is on
little
letter
program
D.
put in
All
right
right,
now.
thank you.
and then
you can
B.
run them off the computer.
Yeah, I got later year versions in there, and then one.
Okay, so we're gonna feature doing this using the telco program. I guess the other popular terminal program is Term 80, but I don't really have any experience with that at the moment. Maybe another day.
Classic, right?
Classic 9 is what I use, but that isn't one off.
So written by someone named Charles Earl. and, we can send them $20,
That's one that's
right?
probably gonna be off of PC based.
And I guess it's $20 Canadian, not US.
Oh, gosh, that's even more.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I've already got it pretty much set up, but normally you would, do your terminal setup. Right now, we've got it set for VT100 net, whatever that means. It's not a complete VT100 emulator. Modern Linux systems throw a lot of characters that are rendered as garbage, so we'll probably at some point in time need to rewrite either another term info file or maybe write another discipline. Since I have a old Smart Modem 1200, we're at 12.
Reconnecting, you're
So we
live.
may,
Reconnecting, you're
so we
live.
may have missed, when did that happen?
Right,
15
you
minutes ago?
got the AT, I don't know if they sneezed or,
Okay,
It's
So-
saying okay.
yes, so AT being the command set for, hey, Smart Modem, we're gonna attempt to connect the John's modem on the other side. You wanna tell us a little bit about the rig that you set up to do this?
There's this telephone simulator, and it's called a Viking telephone simulator. And basically, when you go to the Cook County Jail, you can meet your friend on the other side of the glass, and you can pick up the phone, and it rings on the other side of the glass, and the two lines can talk to each other. And that's what this Viking phone simulator is great for, is when you go to prisons and
Do you know that by
jailhouses.
experience, or?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You didn't ask me which side of the glass he
Yeah,
was
which
on.
It doesn't really matter, doesn't really matter these days.
And so, it's a Viking phone simulator. You can use it in many applications. It's also used in training people to use the phone and things like that. You basically pick up one phone and the other side will ring. It doesn't matter which one you pick up, the other side will ring. There's little dip switches where you can change that around, but, and you can connect two modems up to like 2800 baud or something like that. And, you can have up to a mile of wire.
wow.
So, it costs about $120, I think, and it's a handy little device. And I've got it connected to a modem and to a serial port, and then into my Linux computer, using a serial USB. And on the other side here, we've got a TI-99/4A hooked to a serial port, hooked to a modem, hooked into the phone line. So, right here.
Yep.
This is the modem. So all we should have to do is type ATD. Or
Page
18
2400,
space.
that is very grainy in this image.
There we go.
I can tell that was a.
Or I should say 1200, not 24. I have a 2400, couldn't find it for this demo, so we're going at the blazing speed of 1200 bits per second.
This is 24.
And telephone, the tele and
That says
telephone.
24? I thought the front says 12.
No, 24.
Oh, maybe I grabbed the right modem
Yeah,
there.
you
Okay.
got the right one.
And the tele and telephone stands for distance. And we're going all the way to the other side of the room is how far the distance is.
And then we might go out to the world, to the internet and try a few telnetable BBSs or SSH online systems.
Is there a TI-oriented BBS?
Yes, I think Heatwave, which I think I've got the address up on the display on that
Ah.
laptop there,
That would be more than
that you can telnet into.
Yeah, no, they're 16-bit.
And by telnet, probably not really telnet, but a raw TCP socket.
Basically, you look up.
Are we ready to try?
Yeah, let's switch back to the display. If I'm actually having 1224.
Yeah, you can switch
here,
James to it, should be obvious.
Let me actually go back to the setup and get that a little extra bit of speed.
And that one will do PlayStation 2, GameCube,
So I'm gonna go
you know, even some PlayStation.
Setup, options, terminal.
setup, and then we're gonna change it to 2400 for
Oh,
blazing
wow.
twice the speed at half the price.
What program is this?
This is a program called Telco. Yes. And it's just a simple terminal. Well, it's a very nice terminal program. It's very The setup is very menu driven.
It's on this USB card.
Well, that one you don't want unless you've got a nano PEB.
Well, this is it, right?
Yes, but
It's
the one,
it's a .dsk file.
yes, but if it's the one I gave you.
Yes, it is.
Then it's a nano PEB file, or a file system. Plus, it's patched specifically for the nano PEB.
Okay, so if you've got that, that is the one you would want.
Right, you can get that off of WH Tech.
The AM module.
The WH Tech site has a version of it.
Yeah, that's what John gave you. You flip it over, it becomes a little tongue that sticks out.
Yeah, I was thinking I had my.
It only
1200,
flips over
but it's actually
easily. It's on a
2400
hinge.
model,
I'm
So,
afraid.
Well,
I don't wanna break.
Did it take the change?
yeah.
There we go. Is your
yeah,
tip working?
yeah, those are nice because you can mail
See
them,
it?
and it's tough for the
Save
post
my
office to
changes.
break them.
Cause this is, it's done, by the way. Oh, wait, I have to use
Go back into terminal mode.
your connector.
Mash the enter key a couple of times for it to auto-bot again.
Let's just
PT to make sure we've got communications.
This is regular.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to attempt to dial a number which is meaningless in this configuration, but what it will do is it will take the phone line off hook, which will then cause the phone on the other end of the phone line simulator to ring. And are you set to auto answer or do you have to manually?
Auto answer on the
Okay.
second ring.
Metal pins go.
Okay, let's give it a try.
Eh.
AT
You don't wanna see an eager.
736
Eh,
500 5,000.
Oh.
We dialing CompuServe or Prodigy?
Your call, please.
You've got mail.
Ringing Murray Hill.
I wanna hear the
Oh,
connect
no,
noises.
nine.
Busy. So you
You
didn't
know, you
answer.
got mail guys at Uber driver?
Change status.
Yeah, he got like 3
I might
bucks for
have,
that.
you don't really need a number. You could just say ATD, it might work a little better.
No CompuServe, if you dial in at 300, it's only $6 an hour. If you dial at 1200 baud, it's a lot more money.
There we go.
Oh, that's super fast.
See if we get a connect. Nope, it dropped.
Busy.
What?
Try it again. Sometimes it doesn't work.
Who else is it on the line with?
Well, it probably times out after a certain amount of time.
We remember most BBSs was one person at a time.
No, but I mean, his phone line simulator probably has a
Oh, okay.
timeout value and it's
Right.
probably taking too long to establish.
I'm just being facetious, I'm just.
The number you can call is
Because
this.
I remember calling the group, the Chicago group board, and, you know, someone would be on, like, you're like, for the love of God, get off, I want to log in.
Start calling people
Most of
to
the,
try and boot
most
them.
BBSs that I used to deal with were multi-line.
Honestly, we
Yeah.
weren't that sophisticated.
Who were those two AI programs who were talking to each other?
Old ones.
And they got upset that humans were listening in, so they switched to Sanskrit.
Not answering.
And then the humans told them, we're gonna shut you off in an hour. So they started uploading themselves every place they could find, you know, for
Okay.
posterity.
This is a TI demo, so technical difficulties are always in the cards.
Yeah, okay.
John's checking his end just to make sure. 'cause
Yeah, but this is the first time we've gotten together with this, so I
Okay, it was
expect
asking
some.
for a password on my side, so it shouldn't ring more than twice. It's ready to go again.
Okay, let's give it a try.
For that movie Colossus, the Forbin project. They hooked the supercomputer up to the entire American defense system, and they couldn't shut it
I heard
off.
that sound, I heard that
Yeah,
sound.
it's timing out and hanging up before it completes the connection. So can you increase the delay before the phone line simulator hangs up?
I don't know how to. I'm sure there's a S command or something to do that.
Well, no, I mean, it's the phone line simulator that's doing it, not the modems,
Oh,
but it's taking.
I
too
can
long
make
to
it
get-
answer on the first ring instead of the second
You
ring.
can do that, that will shorten the time.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, if it's short, how many rings, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah, for the
5
first
second,
ring.
that's a 5 second increase in time
Yeah.
roughly.
Because it was just about to connect.
Yeah, because you could hear it giving carrier and then it dropped the line.
BBS is, I don't remember.
There's a Sylvester Stallone movie where he's like an assassin and he has to boot into a BBS to see who his target is.
Remember that? No, I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
It was
but I
on an
don't know.
Atari portfolio, he went up to a payphone.
Was it actually
I don't
him?
think I've seen
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Sylvester Stallone.
I like the,
Probably know all Sly movies.
I have it on VHS, I just can't think of
I
it.
like the Austin Powers where he had the, video phone in his Jaguar in the sixties. And he gets frozen for 30 years, comes back and it's an internet video phone, and to him, it's nothing different. It's not futuristic anymore, or nothing, you know? And for us,
Okay,
it's,
it's ready to go again.
Here we go, hold your breath.
It's still 2 rings.
Yeah, it's still hung up.
I can power cycle the modem just for.
Right, also try doing the line interface, the phone line simulator too, in case that's behaving poorly.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what seems to be hanging up, like it's timing out
Yeah.
and dropping the connection and then giving me a fast busy.
yeah. At the
Check the other
jail,
one unless you want.
the guy's on the phone to his mom who's on the outside. He says, I buried the loot in the garden, Ma. And she comes back next day and she says, you know, the police came and they dug up the whole damn garden. He says, okay, well, I got the garden dug up for you. Now you can plant all the seeds for you.
Oh. Well, I got a story for you. When I was living at home with my parents, David will remember this. Remember we renovated the bathroom?
Mhm.
So I put in a new wall or something, and so, don't ask me why I did it, I thought it was funny. So I wrote something in hand.
Okay.
Let's try this again.
Who is this? Who are you calling?
Yes, it's not giving that signal.
Right, and then the other question is double check your modem, I'll double check mine to make sure we're in the line interface and not the phone.
Mine's just in its default state.
Well, I'm talking about the physical jack, is it
Oh.
the phone or the line jack?
Well, it worked at home. Let's see.
Because that could be, in some modems cases, if you're accidentally plugged into the wrong one,
Oh, yeah.
it simulates taking it off handset. So you're in the right one, so it's still not working for us.
Yeah, it's still not working.
Let's try again then.
So this is like, come on.
Because it's certainly not answering after the first
Oh.
ring.
There's something there different.
Yeah, but it's still dropping the call. The line is dropping the call for whatever
Okay,
reason.
as soon as you connect it over here, a busy light comes on here, the Viking thing.
Well, because both handsets are in use at that point, but the problem is that it is answering, but I can hear it physically drop the line on this side and then gives me the busy signal.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're sure these are plugged into the right,
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
and the ditch switches are set correctly?
Yeah, the dip switches are set for what I've got at home.
Do you know what the guard time settings? If I can increase the guard time on this one maybe?
On the modem.
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that, but.
yeah, I don't remember what S register it is in off the top of my head. I was just wondering if you had looked at that
Yeah,
documentation
I'm
recently.
afraid otherwise.
That's why I left my telco booklet at home.
Can we just, do you have a coupler? Can we just try direct without the line interface? Or try just your, do you have your original handmade?
Well, I didn't bring the 9-volt batteries for it.
What about power cycling the modem, just in case, see what happens?
I mean, I can do that. We can probably do the other one.
Yeah.
What's this for? Are we playing something later?
Just show and tell.
Okay, it's back on.
That's all I do.
You should power cycle this.
P accent mark, or
I better restart on this side.
I just saw it drop TR and went out, like,
Make sure it plugs in power into the Tiffy.
because you restarting there.
I had it the other way
I
around.
remember what most of these, lights are for. So long ago.
Okay, I'm ready on this side.
Yeah, TR can do it.
Here, let me see.
I can't see.
Next connector?
You got it, Steve?
cartridge is square behind your seat in the middle.
He's not related to me.
Still doing the same thing where it's dropping a call.
Well, you know what this is called?
It's called a TI demo.
Demo hell.
Demo
No, it's just a TI demo. It's always
Typical.
demo.
So you think there's some S command I could do that would?
Yeah, but you have to look it up. Can you try direct connect? Is your cable long enough to do that?
Well, I can do a direct connect, but I don't.
So not all modems need the current loop. Some of them will generate it themselves if there's not one present.
Oh,
And that way you can just tell it to answer manually.
Okay, I'm connected
we
directly.
do this before.
I'm connected directly right now.
Okay. But you're gonna have to manually initiate the carrier tone.
ATD,
I gotta probably think, there's probably something I have to set to tell it to not look
So
for a dial
instead of
tone.
auto answer, I should do an ATA or
Yeah.
something? Okay, I'll try that.
We never asked if it was released or escaped.
ATB, ATC, AT dicky di di do dicky di di di.
Oh, by the way, while we're waiting, I bought personal report generator.
Oh, damn, I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah, you guys will get a demo in the near future.
Okay.
Nice.
I wanna keep all my records on TI.
It works with personal record keeping and statistic cartridge.
Uh-huh.
So I have to make something up.
Jim runs his entire business on his TI. First time at Sinclair.
Micropendium had a good article on secrets of personal record keeping where it could do all sorts of stuff that you wouldn't think about using that cartridge to do.
Oh, that would be nice. I love personal record keeping, with all jokes aside, John.
It's called Secrets of PRK. Might be up again on Western Horizon Technologies in their Micropendium section.
Victor, you wanna hand me the laptop over
So
there?
Jim, do you want me
Yes.
to do this with a Giddy, or do you want me to run?
Well, if you want a terminal session, you're gonna probably have to do it with a Getty.
That makes sense. Are you an Excel guy?
Yeah.
Like, Excel just seems basic, and I know people who can do stuff with it, but it's like,
I know.
Are you ready for me to
I'm
go?
not that.
I know
Yes,
one
let's
person
give it a
who's
try.
just like, I don't know how you did that, but.
That's amazing the stuff you can do.
So that would make sense that
You can use
Personal
the
record
right word
keeping methods and
processors
secret stuff,
and
yeah.
spreadsheets.
Ooh.
Oh, not good. Oh, I thought that was the,
Sounds like yours is not giving carrier. This one is.
Yeah, one side.
Reinitialize your side, please.
Power down and back up?
Well, you don't have to power down and back up, but you're gonna have to reinitialize the AGETI session and have it give another ATA command.
Okay.
Make the modem go off hook and give
How do we
carrier.
ever do this without being on the phone with each other?
Number one there.
Yeah, second line, just so you could.
I remember I used to call Butch Goldstein's BBS, just to talk to Danny, hit call Sis.
That was ours, that was a
Are you ready?
group board.
Yeah.
Our group.
Let me know when you're initiating.
Okay.
And the sound comes from this side.
Yeah, it sounds like your modem is not, either you have the speaker off or it's not giving me any tones.
The first time I thought I heard it,
I'm gonna kill mine.
Is this plugged in? It's only, it's in two, is that correct?
yeah, this isn't doing anything right now.
Oh, this is not connected. Oh, that's not connected.
Should I try, what is it called, Procom? It's not called Procom, Minicom?
You can try that. Just to see if we can establish some link.
So I would call Sis up and Butch would answer saying, Danny's not here. And I would just, at all hours, call the Sis up, just to talk to Danny.
Well, Butch used to sit there and stare at the screen for hours, I used to watch him. He'd just sit there and watch people and what they were doing, like a lurker.
That's,
Of course, he was, no, but you understand, he's also was big on his ham radio.
yeah,
And ham radio people just are incredible because I'm fascinated with all the equipment, but I swear to God, all they do is ask each other what the weather is where they're at.
They're hardcore.
Hey,
about
Jim,
rules.
did you hear that?
What's your call sign? Are you certified?
yeah.
His comments about ham people,
Yeah.
ham radio people?
But they taste great on a bagel.
He has a ham license.
No, I'm not, I'm just saying it, but when Butch was always trying to get me into it, and he was always showing it to me, he'd contact somebody, it was like Australia or something, and all they would do is like, what's the weather down there? What's the weather up here? Well, you know, what? It's like, what, did you just compare weather forecasts? Is that all you guys talk about?
But the idea was in case of an emergency and telephone communications went out, that was it.
Oh, no, I remember
Yeah.
all the disaster movies, the summer disaster movies, the only communication left were the ham operators.
Yeah,
Like, what was that summer one where they blew up the White House? Independence Day.
yeah.
Everybody was talking on Morse code or
Mhm.
through the ham radios and stuff.
Yeah.
And asking each other what the weather was like. How many houses are left the aliens killed? Oh, by the way, what's the weather?
So when everyone else can't communicate, does it suck down there? Yeah, it sucks up here too.
Yeah, it sucks down there too. By the way, what's the weather?
Cloudy with the rain of meatballs.
Probably with a chance of radioactive burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Butch passed away a couple months ago.
Dash DEV.
I don't know. I talked to Carol about it. They had an online week. It was fun. But,
Oh, really quick while we're waiting, the, Ken Zerwinski, if you're listening, thank you, Ken, but he gave us the 1985 TI Fair video. It's 3 hours long. It's gonna be, is it uploaded on our page?
It's on the webpage,
It's
yeah.
on our webpage, so if you guys wanna take a gander. Oh
Make sure they're not evacuating.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not going, oh, there's a tornado alert. We just heard our,
dear. Yeah.
library siren. Who's next to us? The bathroom and the exit doors. So nobody should be affected by the sounds we make in here.
No.
Are you in the wrong mode?
I don't know. It is a fax modem, so I don't know how to switch it to one mode or the
Well, put
other.
it into default mode, ATM ampersand F.
AT,
Ampersand F. Goes back to factory default.
You got hangman over there?
I get an error message when I do that.
F is in Frank,
Yeah,
that's unusual.
All lowercase.
yeah.
Ampersand is that figure 8 symbol, not the at symbol.
And sign.
Yeah.
And
So, yes, so AT. and, okay, doing AT and W to write back defaults in the
like that.
Why is this?
that puts the default profile back into default mode.
Write that down.
So AT and F goes back to factory defaults. AT and W writes the current config to the non-volatile RAM. So we'll remember those settings between settings. So in other words, if you want to change something permanently, you can then type the command, like if you want to change an S register value, and do an AT and W.
Now I do an ATA.
Ever seen this before?
It's
called a PXM. I gotta order one, it's a little portable TV,
Oh,
and I wanna use it as a screen for my mobile TI setup.
mm-hmm.
That's the only input.
RF input.
Yeah.
I think I got a spare TI RF emulator, but it's got the big alligator clips to hook up to the antenna terminals on the.
I had to, you know how I found out what that was? I used Grok, the AI, I took a picture of it and went, what's this port?
Back when they came out with it, I got a GP2X game machine.
Okay.
So
And
that does not sound
somebody
like
was trying to emulate a TI on it,
that power supply.
and it was real slow, because it's got like a very slow processor.
set up when you went
But
to
the
the.
numbers are G as in Gary, P as in Peter, numeral 2, and X as in X-ray, GP2X.
Let me check.
And, yeah, they were supposed to come out with a whole bunch of games. I used it more as a media player for playing music at work, because I would put music on SD cards, and then I would hook the audio output from a headphone output to an RCA stereo output and run that into a receiver I had. And it worked, so I played music on it. And that was I had in lieu of an iPad, or not an iPad,
You know, it was funny because.
the iMusic device that Apple had, I forget what you call
I
it.
lost track with them for years.
Yeah.
And,
iPod?
Yeah, the iPod.
Yeah, the iPod, I used it instead of that.
called up.
It had its little tiny color screen, you could watch
Try it again.
Yeah,
movies on it, and I think alphabet format.
go ahead.
And the music in wave format.
Yeah, I put a movie on this because it's got an SD card slot,
Uh-huh.
just standard MPEG-4.
Yeah.
And it didn't load up, and I'll play with it later.
Yeah.
I got this for $5
Okay.
at Goodwill. But yeah, I wanna put this on my cart just as like a
GP2X.
monitor.
Yeah, I
you
gotta
know?
disable my dial tone detector. Give me a minute.
Yeah, somebody I think had that.
GP2X.
I put a nice thing in the newsletter.
I've seen one of those somewhere.
It's in more of our newsletter, so. Memorial thing.
It's trying to find a song.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just type it in.
We got the memorial page.
It almost reminds me of, that's it, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of, do you remember the GameCom?
No, I did get it primarily for games, and the website didn't have very many of them. And so I took it down to work.
Go ahead
as a
and
media
answer
player,
now.
and then after a couple of years brought it home. And the website had shut down because not many people had bought that or tried to use it or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the GameCom was around the same time as like
Got it.
the Game Gear.
Okay, after much
Oh, it's connected?
waving and gnashing of teeth,
We got it.
I go, that sounded
I
better.
taught myself.
As soon as I heard it.
And, he used to joke, they'll have a cure for it by the time I get cancer.
are you seeing anything on your side of the communication?
No, I just see a Connect 2400.
Took 6 months.
I
So
didn't
the
see anything
modems,
on
the
this.
modems are connected, but I'm not getting any sort of information back. I'm not getting echo back from
He
full
died 3
reflex
years
mode.
later in the 80s. And then I was really sad.
Oh, so you're running
My
mini
wife
now,
died,
right?
Yeah.
So getting some characters in this.
Well, he,
Because we're probably both in full duplex mode.
they went that hole, either one of them. I didn't like him in particular because he was.
It's either a football game or a math program.
It's just a demo. That's all it does.
Yeah, we're gonna have to eventually decide.
Right, we're gonna maybe have to abort and try again
Yeah.
sometime. maybe John and I will have to get together at some point and, try and work this out.
Cause it's fascinating, it's just,
Well, it's nice that we actually got it to connect,
Yeah.
whether or
Yeah.
not, the problem is we're getting no data through. Oh, well, I'm gonna disconnect now,
Okay.
and so, plus.
before we end this, and correct me if we didn't, I think it would be interesting for the,
Still need the display.
I think it'd be
Oh,
interesting for
sorry,
the viewers, what kind of equipment are we using here? Did we describe this already, or?
It's a Viking DLE-200B.
The real problem is it's not a Hayes modem.
Oh, I see, it's non-standard?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, you're not joking, okay.
I am joking, because that was always the answer to every telecommunication engineer's problem with
Well,
a
Hayes always was
communication.
considered kinda like,
Hayes was always the standard by
Like
which
Scotch
all
tape,
others were,
yeah.
by all others were judged. And then US Robotics kind of came in,
I remember US Robotics, I had a Signalman Mark IV, I think, or Mark III,
but,
with a 9-volt battery and a switch.
I never
For the
heard of
TI.
that thing.
It was,
Yeah.
no, they were real big for the TI, and they were,
so
go ahead, I'm
we'll
sorry.
just have to, call it at this point. We're not gonna have a complete demo. John and I will probably maybe have to hash this out on our own time and then try again.
What kind of equipment do you have on your end, Jim?
So I just have a simple Hayes Smart Modem 2400 baud modem, nothing fancy.
How is it connecting to the TI?
It is connecting to the TI via the serial port on the Nano PEB,
Okay,
and we're using the Telco terminal program for communications,
okay.
which has some level of VT100 emulation. Probably insufficient for today's modern Linux systems, but probably was very nice back in the day when, terminal control was minimal.
Now, what's the whole concept with this? Is this just a proof of concept that we can do it?
Well,
Or is this ultimately?
you should be talking to John on that.
Intel.
Mhm.
And when you get your table, you can request a phone line.
Okay,
And you could host a BBS, or you could try to connect to other people's BBSs at the show. And with this phone simulator, we can connect only two lines. And we could use it possibly at the TI World Fair
Oh,
and get, like a BBS connection going through Telnet or.
well, you've got 140 days to get it working. No, thank you very much, and,
You don't have to get the last name. It's okay.
for those of you who are too young to remember BBSs, they were the hot commodity in its day. I remember
I see.
it probably kept Computer Shopper going for
And
years,
of course,
oh,
because they were the ones that published an extensive BBS list. Remember
Of course,
Computer Shopper?
yeah, it was about 2-inch thick,
It was about
Magazine
2 inches
size,
thick, it was 95% ads. But what they had in there is they had the most extensive worldwide, I think it was a worldwide list, I think it was like the whole world, because they had other countries too, of bulletin board systems. And I remember sitting there, because back then, long distance was a lot of money, so.
that's why you bought call packs.
Well, even call, I remember most of it was, we were fortunate to be in the Chicago area,
So
and so they had a lot of.
a lot of BBSs that were inside the
So we would
8-mile,
blind call as many BBSs.
8-mile central office to central office untimed connection.
And most of the BBSs in its day, and later there were some more expensive ones.
Name some names, which BBSs did you call back in the day here in
I remember
Chicago?
Tibbs, TBBS.
Okay,
I know the Chicago User Group had a unique one.
yeah, so you
Oh,
can
that
talk,
was
well,
made
Erwin
by-
just stepped out, he could have talked about that.
I know that the Chicago board was, there was a big debate for years over who had the first BBS, and it's still going on.
Right, people still
Um,
argue, because, well, the general consensus is, Ward and Randy here in the Chicagoland area. Some other people were also early. writing
Well,
BBS software.
our group stipulates ours was the first.
Okay, well,
But it's
well,
a debate, it's
well,
debatable.
I mean, Ward and Randy are credited often with the creation of the first, what is.
Well, we're talking about the TI one.
Right,
TI
okay,
only.
TI specifically, that's another.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we were before.
Yeah.
there
who's
was
left
some-
to argue with?
Before CBBS.
Well, no, there's two, see, TPBS went, in the TI world, went, commercial. And almost, I'd say 75% of the boards that were TI ran the TBBS software, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody out there will correct me.
Well, I
Please
think,
do.
yeah, I mean, that's really the only one that's even still standing today.
No, but ours was custom made,
Yeah.
by, I believe, Sam Pincus,
And of
and then
course.
later Nick
and-
Iacovelli,
And of
both
course,
passed away.
and of course, you're totally biased because you did duty for the
I
Chicago ABS as
programmed the
well.
extended basic part about
Yeah.
it, so yeah, I am a little biased. But I remember that ours ran in basic, believe it or not, because we had the terminal emulator in, well, no, it was extended basic. But for whatever reason, they were able to get it so that when you logged on, because people would use the terminal emulator to call,
Sure,
that it would say, welcome. So that was like the big thing, that ours would talk.
yeah,
And then later on, we added Horizon RAM disk and all kinds of other stuff to increase the capacity. And we had a big download section and all kinds of stuff, and it was definitely the best in the whole world because I was the one that did it. But, but one person at a time. And we had a group that at times had hundreds, if not, hundreds and hundreds of members.
sure.
And at night, prime time,
You would have. a
you would have
wait list.
150 people trying to log in at the same
Right,
time.
auto dialing,
Yeah,
redialing to get
and
in.
just sitting there with, just hearing the busy tone.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. When you get off the damn phone, I wanna download something.
Now, if I remember, was it still, you can only have one person at online?
Yeah, because
There
a
were-
lot of early BBSs and systems that they ran on were single tasking systems, so you really couldn't do multi-line easily in those days.
And even when you did do multi-line, it required multiple actual phone lines, which was not cheap.
Expensive, yeah.
Yeah, it was not cheap.
Multiple phone lines, multiple modems, sometimes even multiple computers
Mhm.
and storage systems.
But at the time, just being able to get online, and just see the stuff, and see this stuff scroll across the screen. I remember the modems of the day, the Signal Man, and I actually had an acoustic modem.
Mhm.
I remember if the line quality was bad, I was able to drop down from 300 baud to 110.
Yeah,
And 110, you could type faster.
I know.
And then you could,
Yeah, an
the letters
unskilled,
coming
I know.
across like
An
this.
unskilled typist could easily type faster than 110, yes, absolutely.
So, even today, if you were to see a 300 baud, you would just sit there and go, oh my God, because it would
Yeah.
take like a minute to draw the screen, depending on what it was doing. And you're just watching it, and you're
Yeah,
watching it.
Think of it roughly as 30 characters per second.
And then they had CompuServe, and I remember CompuServe was 300 baud and 1200 baud. And 300 baud was $6 an hour. And I think 1200 or 24, whatever, oh no, it was anything higher than,
Right, it
And
was more
12
expensive for
was
higher
like
speeds.
12 bucks an hour.
Yeah,
Was
So-
it cost effective though?
Well, it depends on what you were doing. If you were just reading stuff, it wasn't. But if you were downloading, then of course, you pay twice
Oh,
as
okay.
much, but you're downloading 5 times or
Yeah.
6 times faster.
In the TI world, they came up with Archiver and other data compression
I
tools.
remember that, and then later on came out, remember Prodigy came out, which was the color screen, it was like
yeah.
320 by
right,
200, but it was color.
Yeah, you had a user interface of its own,
And then then American Online came out,
which also was a derivative of a Commodore online service known as Quantum Link, which also had both of which also had classic,
then later
front-end
on,
programming
this is
to
something a
run.
lot of people don't know, but you guys do, is that, the people think of the World Wide Web, the internet, it didn't start out graphical, it was text-based.
I mean, technically, the internet still is text-based, everything is.
Well, yeah, I understand, but, you would actually log into the internet, and it would be a text-based interface.
Yep, you would dial up with a regular modem, and
Yeah.
you would, have a Unix shell,
Yep,
and that was most people's first experience with the internet, unless you were in there in the ARPANET.
and what was the
days.
program everybody used that was programmed in Chicago, the software? What was it called?
For what?
For the telecom software that people would use on the PCs. I remember it was made in Chicago, University of Illinois. What was the name?
Well, I mean, there
Everybody
wasn't,
used it.
so that wasn't necessarily, the one at the University of Illinois really isn't a terminal software, but it was one of the first graphical web.
Yeah, that's what I'm
web
talking about.
browsers.
I can't remember the name of
NCSA
it.
Thinking
Mosaic.
Gopher?
Mosaic.
Oh, the first browser.
Yeah, the first, one of the
First
main,
graphical browser,
Yeah,
not the first
Mosaic.
browser,
University of Illinois, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Champaign.
Champaign-Urbana.
Yeah, I remember Mosaic, yeah. And I remember the first time seeing it, I was like, going from the text to the graphics, like, wow,
Yeah.
look at
So
this.
slow.
Well, I know, but it's graphics. I mean, well, of course, we saw graphics for American Online. But, that could be slow too to draw, but it would buffer the graphics
Yeah.
so that it would speed it up a little bit, because it saves a
It
lot
would
of the stuff
store
on your system.
regular assets on
But
the
even in
disk.
character mode DOS days, there were graphics on some old.
Right, there were like RLE graphics for
ANSI
inline.
graphics?
I remember sitting,
ANSI is color and terminal control.
Mhm.
Graphics, he's talking about is like RLE, run length encoded graphics that were
Okay.
designed, and they predates even, PC BBS.
Yeah, there's another term for the graphics some BBSs could support. I forget what
Right,
it's
and then
called.
there's also, other sorts of terminal systems that existed long before
Well, in-
home computers that did graphical.
But in
communication.
character mode, you needed some kind of socket softwares to make the connection when you did graphics eventually. WinSock?
I remember
that?
Well,
WinSock.
WinSock was just a Windows port, a poor Windows port of the Berkeley socket interface used on Unix for
Yeah.
TCP/IP communications specifically.
or was it DOS based upon mostly copied off of Unix commands and
DOS? No, it has more to do with CPM.
CPM, okay. 'Cause I remember, I'll give you something, I remember 1982,
It is a
Uh,
stripped down and dirty CPM.
public school system, Lane Technical High School, with the punch cards and the,
Yeah, that predates my experience at Lane Tech.
and
but
the
yes.
terminals, which were, what do they call the paper terminals, where the paper,
Printing terminals,
Printing
like
terminals.
a deck writer or
And
something like that.
we found out that one of the schools had an extensive library of ASCII nudie pictures.
Yes, I know how desperate young teens are for
And we print out
anything that resembles
5 foot
nudity.
tall, on the, what was the paper with the holes in it?
Continuous tractor
The
feed.
tractor feed paper
Continuous,
of ASCII pictures of, and if you stood at the right angle in a distance, like, I see boobies.
Yeah,
And-
Rub your eyes.
Yeah,
yeah. Ken
Well, I
Gilman
remember-
had the girl
Well, that's after you
calendar.
get sacked while playing
His
stuff.
football, then you can look at it and it looks like a,
In the mid-seventies at work, I remember printing out the Mona Lisa on an impact printer.
oh yeah, I mean, well, some of the printers, and then the more sophisticated ones were ones where they figured out where they could control the printer to do double strike.
Yeah,
Remember, and, it took forever to print it, but they'd go back and forth, and you got a better quality picture with the double strike.
better quality.
Well, yeah, well, than just using.
As I do the air quotes off camera.
And then I remember the dot matrix printer, and then they had the new ones that near letter quality dot matrix printers.
It'll
Remember,
print,
they
yeah.
would go over and they'd go over like a second
Right.
time.
Or it
They'd
would
stagger
have,
the
or it would
print
have
at half a turn.
Yeah.
or it would have overlaying print pitch.
Well, that's what it would do. It would stagger. It would do like a half and half, and it would go. They figured it out, and it actually was pretty for the time. Was pretty good
Right,
quality.
if that's all you had, it
Yeah.
was adequate for what you need, for doing graphical.
But my first exposure to
Output.
graphics on a computer was the Plato system with
Yeah.
their orange.
Yeah, their version
Plasma
4 and version
terminals.
5 terminal,
See,
right?
I was wrong because I was taught. I learned extended basic myself, and then I went and I took the class at Lane, and they were teaching Fortran.
Mhm.
Now, Fortran and basic, they're kissing cousins. I mean, they're not.
One influenced the other.
Well,
certainly.
it's real easy to translate one to the other. So I would go home and I would write my homework in BASIC and debug it. And whenever it was working, then I would translate it back to Fortran and hand it in.
uh-huh.
And then the
You,
problem.
sir, are the compiler.
Well, it was great though because all the girls in the room, because they were forced to take the class. It was like the uber geek that knew how to program. And so I got to trade homework, I got chemistry homework, I got all kinds of good stuff. It was good in trade. Because I would finish it, they would assign the assignment on Monday. I would go home and finish it on Tuesday. And it wasn't due till Friday. So then we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to mess around, connecting and printing up the booby pictures. And then we also found out that
Did
there
you
were.
accidentally submit that output by mistake?
No, I did not. But I do remember the punch cards, because the punch cards, you know, it's it would print each punch card had one line of code. And it was supposed to print the line at the top, but that broke. So
Right,
all you had was.
sequence numbers were not required.
So
but
they
what's
told
desirable.
us to write down the cards, 1, 2, 3 on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In case you dropped them.
Yeah,
We were too
God.
lazy, and so someone come by and they
Right.
knock your stuff down on the floor.
Yeah, it's not in case you drop them, in case of one of your jerk-off friends
That's exactly what it was.
decides they're gonna make you have a bad day.
And, but.
So
we
what,
figured-
you're finished with your program
Well, we
already?
figured out that all the Chicago public high schools were connected to the same, main computer. They probably didn't have it, they were probably renting it.
Yeah, it's probably,
But no security. No security.
yeah, a lot of early systems have either no or
Uh-huh.
limited security.
And so we figured out the delete command. And boy, we'd get in there and we like, Schurz was down the road and we hated Schurz because we were like, rivals. We'd go in there and we'd erase their entire library.
Oh, boy.
So we were, because we had 4 days with nothing to do.
You shouldn't
because we
admit
were-
that stuff, it might still be considered a felony.
So then I go to Loyola, and
Before they
Loyola wants to,
invented it, isn't it?
after all, years and years and years of programming and spaghetti code, basic and extended basic and even Fortran, they're gonna try to teach me structured Pascal. It wasn't a pretty sight. It wasn't pretty. When years and years and years, you're not used to any kind of structure.
When all you eat is spaghetti.
Yeah, that's true.
You're gonna balk at the flavor.
But when they finally introduced me to the first version of C, C I liked.
Right, because it's very simplified.
Hey,
See,
you
I
can run
like
a
it.
Pascal
Pascal,
articles in the
to this day,
newsletters
in a lot
every
of
month.
ways.
Yeah, I don't tell them. Oh, if you're watching it, and out of Sweden, I think he's in Sweden. I love Pascal. If you're watching,
Well, my first programming course was WAC 5, student version of Fortran, and there was one instruction, no backwards jumping. We could only jump forward.
Yeah,
not
because
backwards.
your compiler is only a single pass forward reference
Well,
of compiler.
but it was
right?
also a way to kind of force you to think in a structured way.
Mhm.
The first actual language that had the most complications was PL1 that I learned, which I like
never
that
did
language,
PL1.
because
I
it did
did
everything.
Lisp. I can't
I took
remember.
Lisp,
Yeah, so essentially PL1 is a sort of vastly expanded, heavily influenced by another language known as Algol. For those who may have encountered that as well, like more specifically, I think it's derived from, Algol 60. I think a lot of people skip 68.
Um,
No, I never learned that.
If you are
If you
sitting down,
ever look at Algol 60 and you knew PL1 back in the day,
Yeah.
you'll see some similarities.
The demo.
Is it on the
I also learned
PT
Snowball.
website?
I never learned Snowball. I went right to assembly in college,
It's a bin.
and,
Yeah, but if you're an assembly programmer, you probably like C because it behaves a lot like assembly.
I like C because it seems to be like a cross between, basic and assembly.
Right, because it's essentially a high-level representation of the PDP of an assembly
Well,
instruction set.
I like the auto increment instruction in particular, and
You think it's.
I think
Now, the
the
one
one
I-
had that too.
The one that drove me nuts though was COBOL. I was like, I never saw so much you had to write for a single instruction. It was unbelievable. It was like you were writing a friggin' novel. I don't know, I
But it
can't
was-
remember
it
the
was
whole
designed-
thing, but I remember whatever the instruction sets were huge, like big words and
It was
stuff.
supposed to be.
It was supposed to
English
be that
language
way.
Readable
Yeah.
and.
Oh,
easily
it was.
And easily understandable.
Right, but boy, what a lot of work to type
Yeah, a
all
lot of
that in.
typing in.
But the
I'll stick with
the
fourth.
professor I had for assembler
Yeah.
could take one look at your code and know exactly what it was doing. He was that good.
Wow.
Mm.
See, I only wanted to learn assembler just so I could write enough assembler routines for my basic programs.
So
Yeah.
how-
See, the thing is that programming in Pascal or something that's high level, and you're doing it the right way, you're supposed to lay out the design and what the program's supposed to do. You're supposed to have all kinds of, you're supposed to have the whole thing. But when you're programming a game in TI, what you're doing is you're starting with something, you're like, well, let me add this. Well, let me add this.
Before we
Let
get-
me add this. And pretty soon you got go subs and go tos and calls all over the place.
Before we get too deep into this subject,
I'm sorry.
how are we doing on time, and do we have anyone else that's going to be doing a presentation?
Vic said he was.
And how's the battery on my phone doing?
I don't know where the battery symbol is.
Is it flashing? in
We're in
some
bonus
No,
sort
it's
of-
a-
now,
I
it's
think it's a,
309.
no, that's a camera symbol.
I haven't
No
explored
flashing.
that.
I don't see it.
It's a-
Okay, it's probably fine,
Yeah.
but it might not be a phone at the end of the,
Yeah.
at the end of the
Do you have a
stream.
cord? I can use my battery.
No,
Is it
Well, we're gonna-
wireless charging?
no.
And I
the
should
cord doesn't
remind
work.
people, when
Is it-
you're programming
I wonder
like
if
that,
USB type C.
that while
and
the
it's
TI
garbage.
executes
No, the phone doesn't do
programs
recharge.
by line number,
Oh.
they're
It's
stored
got a
on
USB
disk
Type-C port
in the
on it.
order that
It's
they were
not
typed
working
in.
correctly.
Oh.
So
if
so
you
it can only
edit a
switch
program
years
heavily,
old.
You always
in the
wanna do
computer's
renumber.
memory,
It's already-
it's going
Well,
back and
because
forth,
it's-
back and forth to get to the next line number.
Hey, that's what they told me. They said that if
Everybody
you-
thinks
if
it's
you
the
did-
greatest
when you
thing
were
since
finished,
sliced bread.
before you
They
saved
can
it, if
still
you
make
did the
crappy
renumber
USB
thing.
Type-C connectors.
Oh,
So TI would
Exactly.
renumber everything,
Yeah.
then it would then straighten it out.
One person had
USB, those
suggested
connectors
to
really
save the
fail.
program
Anything that fails
in
also
merge
is a
format,
connector.
I
and
heard
that
that too.
forces everything to go on the disk,
Okay. Victor?
line by line, in sequential order, and then when you do, load, program merge, whatever, it will put it in memory.
Carefully overnight.
And I had suggested that to Wally Malooly when he came out with
Until it says.
uh,
I'm
Clear
switch
for
charging, here's the
Action,
problem.
his
You know, switch charging
combat,
is better
naval
than
combat
virtual.
in the age of
Because you know
sail,
what happens to-
that he had heavily edited and
Yeah.
stuff
Right,
like
you have
that.
to bend them.
And I said it might run faster if you save it as a merge.
Well,
in every
today,
program.
when I write something and everybody does it a different way, I'll do it on the PC.
Mhm.
Okay,
For the
Victor,
laptop, and
do
then
you
I
want to do
will-
a Chinese fire drill here so you can take the con?
Yeah, we can do that. But I was going to do is, the folks should see how we got this room, maybe I should
We
bring
got
my,
until, we got until 4 o'clock, so we're good.
maybe I should bring my drone next
Chinese fire
time,
drill on.
so we can have it up on the ceiling and look down and get a panoramic view of what we're doing.
So everybody, there's buttons on the table, everybody take 2 if you want them.
Take 20.
I'm also gonna pass this around, we got permission from Scott Adams to have a collector's set of all his games, and I made them up. You can open it up and look at them.
Oh, a P1 nuclear bomb.
Yeah, there's the new ones I got.
Oh,
So
these
all
are
that
cool.
design, see, they got the number at the bottom and his little signature at the top.
Look, I always love the Count's graphic, the screen with the castle.
The thing that's not anything like the game.
No.
I know, but I mean, that's the nature of it. Box art, fill
Right.
the gap.
Well, it's a collector's set of 12, and so I
Uh-huh.
said that we weren't gonna sell them, but I wanted permission if we gave away as prizes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And he said, absolutely, and so I'm sending him a set, you know, because,
Good, good.
you know, I'm still hoping he finds a way to get here. I really do wish we could have thrown a couple bucks in.
Or
I
it might be
understand
this
the,
one.
I understand it's a bad precedent.
Here's the rest of the in photos
And I understand,
collection.
but I would have loved to have,
No, I-
like a
Order.
keynote
Ariel.
speaker, you know?
Right.
So you have a button.
Being able to compliment
Yeah.
someone.
Like that, you know,
What do you print it on?
I use a program called GIMP. It's an open source Photoshop type thing. There's other ones that were expensive, and I don't like pirating them. I have a Canon inkjet. These are printed on regular paper, but like when I do the cover of the
So what are you
newsletters,
gonna do about Matrix version?
got matrix versions? Yeah, I got these for you. To cover to get them changed. But like when I do the covers of the newsletters, I print the first page on photo paper.
Sort of
That-
like,
that's why- That's
Scramble.
why it comes out. And I also figured out, I can't do it on the newsletters, but I figured out how to do full page
It's
printing.
nice for you,
with manuals.
Okay,
climate
Victor,
the sun is at 45 degrees.
Victor, what are we playing?
This
Like
is
I
called
figured out
Ariel,
how to print with
and
it.
it is again
Edge to
part
edge.
of the
So when you're doing the
Innufuto
manuals,
collection.
it comes off the inkjet printer. So it's like edge to edge, so it looks like the actual manual.
Did you do this on,
Oh, the boss character,
Color
the
inkjet.
Zeppelin.
could you do it?
This is the mother
Here's
one.
the problem when I take color lasers. Color lasers are faster or better,
I,
but here's the problem.
I never
Color
got this
lasers
far, so I don't know if
blend.
you can destroy the Zeppelin
Now,
or
they can
not,
dither,
or if it
they're
just
real
takes a
good
million
dithering,
shots.
but
Oh,
they'll never be as good as an inkjet because inkjet will blend the colored ink together.
Oh, but hold it, what's the,
See, because the,
phase something printer?
well, there's one that uses wax, that's a photon. A regular inkjet, no, regular, laser printer is power. And so the toner doesn't mix. So what
As soon as it's
they do,
deposited, they fuse it to the.
they do the dithering like a TV, when they got the dots real close together. But like when you do an inkjet, they actually, you can see, the photo quality is much better.
you got 9 more games here.
There's a thermal one that uses melted wax, which is really good, but expensive.
Nice thing
It
about
is
these
nice looking,
Hyperkin
I like it.
joysticks is the 10-foot cord they give
I
you.
like the cannons on the ridge.
And they're beating the hell out of this print.
Or is that really supposed to be a
Well, I got
anti-aircraft?
third party ink, otherwise
Mobile.
it's too expensive.
Yeah,
I love when you're throwing down like that and you're shooting it, you do like a side.
Yeah.
And you don't run out of bullets.
Yeah, the Zeppelin.
There's an iPhone. Nice. There you go.
I don't know whether that works, but the thing wouldn't physically fit in the car.
See, we got these
Oh,
parts
it's
on it,
nice.
so-
It's like little single shot, controlled shots.
Well, I didn't do that, I had to send away from.
Yeah, I grew up with
They get the
Space
backup
Invaders,
side
and they
down.
only allow one
And,
missile on
do
the
like-
screen.
they'll probably
Yeah.
go a long way.
I know some people, they would have,
I don't know, it's not that much.
just go nuts with the fire
Probably
button, hitting it
like a game
100
or two.
times as fast as they could.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on Atari, somebody had a 555 timer
Well,
and
it
a
fits in
little
your wall, but
speed
I like
control
it because
knob
it's flat.
for the joystick
Like I
adapter.
do- like for the
So you could adjust the
cheaper
fire
ones,
rate on an
They
Atari
all have
game.
like a regular
that,
flash drive,
allowed you
they're
to
cheaper.
do something
These are more
like that.
expensive.
And I got one of those and it's buried somewhere
It's just.
at home. I did promise people I'd dig it out and do a review. On the TI, I can't really do much because usually you're limited by the program
I got.
on how many, you're only allowed one bullet at a time on the screen.
Yeah.
But some, you're not. Another thing I got at home is the Atari trackball for the TI that comes with its own power supply. And it's not really good for
Fortunately,
games
the TI, the size of the programs are so
like,
small, that getting the
Missile
cheaper
Command,
2.0 version.
because it's slow.
USB.
Because instead of just using the joystick to say,
Oh,
go left, go right, go to this diagonal position on the screen,
I like how it flies backwards.
the trackball. So a demanding game like Missile Command isn't that good. It works, but not that well.
Yeah.
I usually buy game
See
brain,
many people using the trackball.
Yeah.
they say that
Well, on the Vectrex
to this very day, the
game
best-
machine,
the best, most reliable one is
there's a
Finder.
bunch of trackball games. People are going nuts with that game machine
I don't know why, I
custom
mean, 'cause it's still
controllers.
magnetic,
and things like that.
but there's the CDs deteriorate, DVDs deteriorate.
Well, what about the, rock?
Those new ones they put out that are.
The one out?
As soon as something that's out there that people can buy, yeah.
Those are
But
cool.
Yeah, the golf one.
The golden tee.
Yeah, golden tee.
That's the one to have.
Yeah, I got that one, that was
Oh,
fun.
yeah,
No, I'm talking about
But
the.
also there's other games built in like the,
Rock something's,
is what they call it.
well, the problem is that
Bowling
anything
stuff?
What's
consumer
next?
Um,
friendly as far as price
that other one, you,
is
I've never
They're not
actually,
gonna
I
last.
haven't seen the blanks in stores.
So I used to have a Galaga machine,
I've
and then I
seen
had a
burgers.
tabletop pack.
H&G gets a banking in Furbo. C,
Those ones are like.
that was Ariel, now let's try
You got
Ascend.
audio files, and they go bad, and you can still listen to them. And,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Because.
This
it's
looks
analog.
familiar.
This is like
It's
a,
very similar.
similar to your
Yeah.
previous elevator game, lift.
You
Yeah,
go
but with ladders.
That's the only difference.
Basically,
Yeah, the,
electron
person of the crew or whoever it was that came up with this,
Which way is it oriented, spinning?
What are the boxes?
I can see that eventually we're gonna get to something like that.
Can you go across like Pac-Man?
No. Holographic memory on it to a cube.
no, it doesn't seem to run
How many
left and
things-
right.
How many
Jump.
things
Yeah,
in the
jump.
computer
There.
eventually you see it's gonna be.
Oh, you can box in your
You've never seen it.
opponents.
I think in the last 10 years, how many breakthroughs in battery technology is gonna solve all our solutions? We still have it, we're still using
That's
lithium.
nice.
That's a good question.
How did they get sodium?
Well, that's the next one that they said that most says that sodium, they said the drawback is the density is
I
not
like the
quite
lead
much,
one better.
but it's a hell of a lot cheaper.
It's
And,
easier
um,
too, 'cause
Less of
they're
an
more-
environmental impact.
It doesn't,
Yeah.
once you catch a spider, it doesn't burn
Well,
on the
in
wall.
game design,
Oh,
You
sodium
are,
mixed with water is very volatile.
Is it, as much as lithium? Well, what I mean though is that
I
lithium.
don't know if
how
you
do
can
put it
jump
out?
on that to jump it down.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, yeah, you can.
It's volatile. We get
Now, if you
that
jump
water.
up,
No.
there, now you got them boxed in there.
That would be
Oh,
a-
Some of these guys, they will seek your level. They will do their best
But I don't know about
to
sodium.
get to a
Oh, I.
horizontal position that you're at.
How do you put it out?
Oh.
So this is sort of like Midnight Mason.
No,
or
water
Midnight
makes it
Mason.
worse.
The sodium in a beaker like this of water in it.
Well, here's the thing though, I mean, what if the fire department does the phone with the fire?
So in game design, there's a line between too easy,
It's,
where you give up and you say it's childish, and too difficult, where you say it's too hard. And so when you publish a game and you read the reviews, if half the people say it's too easy and the other half say it was too hard,
Put it out.
you've hit the balance.
Yeah, you got.
And that's what you were pretty much working for.
In a neutral oil, mineral oil, because that's usually how they store metallic.
Alright, this sounds like the other one.
Sure, I'll try it.
To basically keep it from, and of course, if you go to the bottom of that table, Francine, I remember seeing a demonstration of that added.
Yeah, it was nice getting in that telco demonstration, because yeah, you can show people playing games at home, but something with some meat and potatoes.
I remember I was,